Alright, what's up guys? We're going to start talking about plant anatomy and the different parts that make up the entire plant. So we'll start off with leaves and the external parts of a leaf. The petiole is the first part. It acts as the leaf stalk, is the part that connects the leaf blade to the stem of the plant. The midrib is that center larger vein that goes down the middle of the leaf blade. The blade of the leaf is the larger flat part of the leaf, and it has veins in it. The veins are that structural framework of the leaf. Just like you and I have veins in our body that transport nutrients and water throughout our body through blood, plants have the same thing. The plant veins transport nutrients and water throughout the plant. The margin of the leaf, we've talked about in Plant ID, the crenate, dentate, serrated, and even entire margin, and all these other margin types. The edge of the leaf is that margin. Just like the edge of your paper is the margin, the edge of the leaf is the margin. The apex of the leaf is that very end point of the leaf, is the tip of the leaf. So all these parts make up the external anatomy of leaves. In the leaf blade, you have the apex, the margin, the veins, the midrib, and make sure you know those parts make up the leaf blade. And then you also need to know the part that connects the leaf to the stem of the plant is the petiole. So internal parts of a leaf. You have the upper and lower epidermis. Just like you have an epidermis, it is the skin of your body. Plants also have, or the leaves also have skin on them. So the epidermis is the skin of the leaf, and this helps prevent too much water loss in the plant. Stomates, they're small openings under the leaf for breathing and transpiration. We'll talk about transpiration, that process, a little later. But they allow carbon dioxide in and water and oxygen out of the leaf. Guard cells, they're the cells that regulate or allow the opening and closing of the stomates. Chloroplasts, if you've had biology before, then you know what chloroplasts are, but they contain chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is responsible for the green pigment in plants, and chloroplast is where the process of photosynthesis happens. So photosynthesis, we'll talk about the chemical equation a little later, but the basics of photosynthesis that you need to know is it's a process which plants capture sunlight and they use it to convert carbon dioxide and water into food. Photosynthesis is the way that plants make their own food, and this happens in the leaves of the plant. Respiration is the reverse of photosynthesis, and just like you and I respirate, we breathe, plants also breathe. They convert sugars and starches into energy. That's how plants are able to cool off at night, as you can see in this diagram right here. Transpiration, this is the release of water vapors from the leaves of the plant. So through transpiration, it's just like evaporation, except evaporation is where water is taken from the earth and goes into the atmosphere. Transpiration is water is taken from the plant and it goes into the atmosphere. And it allows the plant to cool off. So it cools the plant. So additional parts of the leaf that you're going to need to know. Here's a few more terms. Cecil, leaves without a petiole. So as you can see in this diagram right here, there's no leaf stalk that connects it to the stem of the plant. The leaf is directly connected to the stem of the plant. An example is the zinnia. Bracts are actually modified leaves that look like flowers. So popular plants with bracts would be the dogwood as well as the poinsettia, as you see in the images below. Needles and scales, they're both modified leaf types. So an example would be the pine needle, as you see in the left. It's a long, slender leaf blade. It's called a needle. And then scales are flattened, compressed leaf surfaces, like in the image on the right. And when we talk about the Leyland cypress, you'll see a leaf scale. It's a modified leaf. Glabrous leaves and stems, they both are smooth and not hairy to feel. So an example is a southern magnolia, as you see in the image right here. It has a smooth leaf surface. Pubescent leaves, like when we talk about the azalea and even African violet, they have a hairy feel. And so they have pubescent leaves, means the leaves are either fuzzy or hairy to the touch.